3, 2, 1, let's go. All right, today, welcome to a crypto conversation. Today we have our good friend Crypto Sage and me, Superhero Crypto Ninja. So we're gonna freestyle this. This is kind of our first time setting this up, so I hope you guys like this kind of UI. Today, let's talk about the latest stuff in crypto. We can chat about Terra Luna potentially going to $1. I was thinking maybe we could cover some DeFi rug pulls, and last week you had mentioned Strong. We can talk about Metablox and why we invested in that as well. And maybe we can talk about some of the best trading signals that we've seen from the different influencers that we've signed up for. And then finally, maybe we can end with our investment plans in this bear market and what we're doing. So yeah, have you heard anything in the news that you want to talk about? I've been doing daily news videos on this channel, but anything catch your attention?
Well, I mean, I think let's just jump into some of those topics you talked about. We've been kind of monitoring Terra Luna, and yeah, let's just start there. You were saying that in a couple of days they're doing the airdrop.
Yeah, so it looks like the vote got passed through, and they came up with the formula already. And everybody, basically, if you were pre or post, are getting some tokens. Right now, they believe, or the only crypto exchanges that they're supporting are Binance and I think Kucoin. So I have my Luna on FTX. I have to maybe look at moving that because FTX still hasn't announced that they're going to support it. There's a calculator that people can use if they just search up Luna Airdrop calculator. It's one of the first links, and they can just basically input their number of tokens that they're holding under pre or post attack, whether it was UST or Terra, and then it'll give you a calculation as to what you're going to get, initially, and then what you're going to get vested out. So it's not much for me, even though I have over 100 million Luna post when I bought the dip, but I think it came out to like 1,600 tokens or something as the new one, and nobody knows what the new price is going to be. That's all speculation right now. I don't know. I think in the next few days we might see a little bit of a push. I'm hoping that we see a push on the old Luna, which will be called Lunk going forward.
Classic.
So
Nice.
I wonder if it's a good time to buy for a quick like 5, 10, 20% gain. But that's a little bit risky too, because we have no idea what's going to happen the second the tokens get issued. I don't know if it's going to dump completely. I would suspect it won't, because hopefully there's people still holding on to the old vision. But Do Kwon hasn't said anything about supporting Luna Classic, so not too sure if there's going to be a community around that. Right now, it's all just fucking speculation at this point.
Yeah. As I'm trying to play with this calculator, like, so you're saying that you're gonna get like what, 1,600 tokens
Yeah,
for your 100 million,
yeah,
and you still get to keep the other ones?
yes.
But the other ones, we were pretty sure. I feel like it's gonna go to zero. It's kind of like any.
Man, it's already zero. How's it going to go even lower?
Well, I mean, like anything that has gone to a version 2 token, like I'm thinking, most things, but most things get blocked. Like on Dex, or on DeFi, they're no longer trade because they take away the liquidity. But what would happen with the classic one here? I imagine similar thing, right?
Well, somebody did a video on like all the ones that have forked in the past, and like typically you see, yeah, it doesn't get much traction, but then every once in a while it just freaking pump to the moon randomly. So the fact that it still exists, I think we'll just hold on to it. I'm probably not going to sell. I'm not anticipating a dump. What are you going to do?
I'm just looking at this now. I mean, like, remember what we shared before is the first time I really encountered this was back when Elon Musk was going on SNL and talking about Dogecoin. and like everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is the day the Dodge is going to zero, no, to $1, right?"
Mhm.
And
It dumped.
and it was like we're boom, and so it just wiped everything out. So I kind of feel like the space is, you called it like what, buy the hype, sell the news,
Yeah, buy
or
the
something.
rumor, sell the news. Yeah.
Buy the rumor, yeah. Well, I don't know,
So
man.
you're gonna trade it. You're gonna trade the price action.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Like, what is it? Where is it trading right now? And did you say, is Kucoin participating in the airdrop?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna look up and see how it's trading. But if I can just 2x, I think my holdings, probably just take that.
So
That's
you're
more
gonna be quite active on the 27th, I guess, and just monitoring price action when they airdrop it. I'm probably just gonna leave it, even if it dumps. I'll take my loss.
Well, you don't have a loss. I'm just gonna set some some sell orders.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. Set some sell orders for like if it really starts dropping.
No, well, for me, I will put the sell orders as it's going up.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not selling till it hits $1. Luna Classic to $1. Let's go, team.
Yeah. I mean, if they weren't forking it, I would definitely keep it and not sell it and just see how it unfolds.
Yeah.
But because they're forking it, I don't know. Typically I think they would pull away all support from the classic token.
What if the SEC or the Korean government steps in and says, "Hey, oh, we're gonna refund everybody who holds this," and then you've sold it? I doubt they'll do that though.
You think that could be a possibility?
I mean, they're being investigated for fraud from both countries, but I don't think the government has ever issued a refund for any fraud projects.
Where would they get the money from?
I don't know. Good question. Um, there was a guy on Twitter named Fat Man who is like doing deep investigation into like some handshake deals behind the scenes, and he's like, "Yeah, I got some insider scoop." And did you see that post?
Oh.
He was like calling out Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX. He's like, "I know what it was like. I know what you did last summer" type of post. It was like, "I know you made this handshake for $30 million or something crazy." So, anyways, we'll see what unfolds. It's just as exciting as the political scene, man. We got some conspiracy theories going on. But enough with Luna. Anything else you want to say about that?
No, I'm looking at Luna right now, and it hasn't really done any big moves. Like, it's okay. It's been pretty steady. It's definitely come down since its like big move in the beginning.
Yeah. I think we're definitely going to go above, like right now it's at, I just call it 0.18, even though there's like 4 zeros in between. But I think it's going to hit 0.20. Hopefully.
Point what?
0.2. I mean, the high was 0.21. So I think
the recent high was 0.21, but in the beginning it went as high as 0.5, didn't it?
Yeah, totally. I don't know if we're gonna see that big of a pump, but hopefully. All right, speaking of rug pulls, tell me about Strong. So maybe you can just share a little bit about what you were doing for your high risk DeFi plays, which if you guys watch my videos, I'm not touching with a 10-foot pole, even though there's so many of them right now. When I review the daily videos, there's like a million of them. But yeah, tell the audience what you were doing.
Well, I didn't consider Strong back then, and it's not really what I'm doing. When I got into Strong was like towards where it peaked out. So Strong for me was just like a long-term play. I got in at about like 500. I had an opportunity to sell at like 700, which would have netted me like most of my return back.
Well, tell them what Strong is first of all.
What Strong is probably one of the most original node services, right? Buying nodes, and these nodes are supposedly providing some function. You have to pay monthly to keep them on the server, etc. There are lots of good node projects, like even you can get Ethereum nodes, which probably over $100,000 right now. Gala nodes. There's many nodes. Um,
And how
but
long has the project been around?
Strong, I'm not. I
Is
mean,
it
I
a
got
new
into it.
project?
It Strong wasn't new. I mean, Strong has probably been around for like almost 2 years. But I'm not like this like diehard Strong fan that, I'm like, oh yeah, Strong. I just got into it expecting that it would. The big thing that happened is that expecting that it would print forever. Basically, that's the idea, right? That was the idea in the beginning. And what they did now is they basically took that away and they said each node can only print pretty much like almost break even and maybe a little bit over. So it really became, there's people who have spent like hundreds of thousands of dollars on these nodes, expecting them to be lifetime income.
And
There's
do you know
people.
why they made that change? Was it a
Huh?
catalyst in the market or?
Well, I think they're trying to get their dollar or their token to stop being deflated, right? Because everybody is just like minting or creating these nodes, and then as the nodes mint the token, they just dump it out.
Interesting. Okay. So
So
what can we share with the audience to prevent them from investing in? Any red flags that you saw? Or was it just too late the second you saw it? And where did you see it? Was it in the group chat or they just announced it randomly and it was too late to pull out or?
yeah, I mean, they just changed up the game. They were doing a lot of changes, and I haven't been honestly following that one closely because look, I got in when the token was like $500. Right now, the token is like $50 max, right? So I kind of stopped paying attention to it, and I was just accumulating the token to. First they moved it. They introduced a stronger token over just strong, and this was supposed to be an innovation in the ecosystem. Um, Overall, I just got to say, I think like that project, I think everybody who initially invested is very deeply disappointed. So I don't know. I feel like that project probably is going to lose all of its momentum. And I guess to say like the safest investments in these kind of projects are going to be in the beginning. Okay. In the beginning, you also have risk. You have the risk that, maybe this project won't fan out, even if it's not a rug pull. But also you have the leeway of, before it becomes too deflated. So many of these projects, and you kind of talked about these like high risk DeFi yield projects, they are great for a short time. So you have to really understand that this is almost like walking on these like lava stones, and they keep on like melting as you're stepping into them. So you have to like get in, make your money, move your money to another place. It's not like where they say they show you these projections where you can stay in for like months or years and your ROI. No, I don't think so. It's usually like under a month that you can stay in these. And beyond that, it becomes very, very risky.
Yeah, so if you're gonna do these plays like Crypto Sage was saying, just invest a small amount of your portfolio and then try to get your ROI out. So take out your initial investment and let the house money ride. I think it is the safest way. And like when you're investing too many of these, it's gonna be hard to monitor them so closely day to day. So yeah, probably invest in, if you're going to do this high risk DeFi play, probably stay in less than 5 projects so that you could at least stay on top of them before they start crashing.
I've done the strategy of like diversifying as much as possible, and I just keep a spreadsheet of all of these ones. And what you're talking about is the core strategies. Like you get in, you get clear on what your kind of goal is. It's usually good to get in even like with your initial investment of like, this is the max that I'll put in. And then as soon as you can get your principal back from the interest generated, and many of these ones, because they're very high yield, like you can get it back within like a month or so. That's typically like sometimes under. So get that out, and then you just let the house money ride, and you let it print for you profit for as long as it does, and then it's knowing that it'll eventually disappear.
Yeah, comment down below if you think that's Strong was a good project. Let me know if you were invested and whether you're invested in any other DeFi platforms. Also, I'd be curious to know if any of you know which DeFi platform that promises higher APYs has been around the longest. Is that something you know of, Crypto Sage?
Drip.
Drip. Are you in that?
Drip. I'm actually not in that, but I thought that I was too late to it. There's a few projects that are like they survive, and another one of those is baked beans. You know, and that's just a funny thing, you know, like you put in, it's called a miner. You put your money in there, and it's basically like a game. Everybody knows that it's essentially a Ponzi game, but the way that you play it, and there are rules to extend it maximally. Some of these ones have proven themselves to be more resilient.
But what do you
Uh,
mean? Because baked beans is pretty new, is it not? I'm talking about projects that have been around for
Beans have
like
been
over
around for
2 years or a year.
Baked beans has been around for over a year.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and it almost died at one point.
All right, maybe
Almost.
maybe I'll do a deep dive on these DeFi projects and see if I can find the longest standing DeFi project that has been paying out the most. It'd be very interesting to do a video on that.
Yeah. I think in terms of like consistency, like if you're playing in DeFi and you want something that has some longevity, so it's not like playing with fire intensely, then usually it's going to be like those 1% a day, 1.5% a day. If you're going beyond this, most likely you're gonna lose some of your money. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna either get pulled or it's
Well,
gonna like.
that's so crazy that even 1% a day would be considered safer in the DeFi space, because you look at Terra Luna, people were excited about 20% a year, right? Which is like much higher than banks. And look what happened with that. It's like, oh, that's safe.
But that wasn't because the protocol failed. You know, I mean, it failed in terms of keeping its stability, but it's not that it was, you know, like too many people took their money out or something. You know, it was. I think it's basically it was like a liquidity crisis, right? And it's very interesting. I don't know what position you kind of came up with at the end, but there's so many stories out there like about how that actually happened. Whether it was like an inside job or whether it was like an attack or you know what it was actually. But I think beyond that, it's like many people in the world of not crypto are very impressed with 20% a year.
Yeah.
But I want to say to you, like now being on a, I'm kind of right now transitioning away from all of these kind of like auto systems. Basically, I'm transitioning away from all of these centralized ways of making money in crypto, which is that you give your money to somebody and you just like hope that they do good on their promise, right? And you're just, you know, whatever, you're smoking the hopium. But in trading, especially like, and I've never delved into this before. I always thought like, that's so stupid. Forex trading, binary trading. I always thought, I'm like, what's this? What's the point, right? But the thing is that it's huge liquidity, very difficult to manipulate, and to a great degree, it seems to be more predictable than crypto, more stable. Like you can see the trend, it continues the trend way more readily. There's way less like black swan events that are just gonna, you know, if somebody's speaking, it doesn't make the dollar fall down typically. Yeah. So these systems, especially when you automate these systems, I have been seeing like returns. Like I myself have even manually, and I'm brand new at this, brand new, right? But manually trading using the like the signals, the indicators, getting like 5% a day is not crazy. Like 3 to 5% a day on your trading portfolio. I'm struggling with consistency, but I see now in this group, I'm seeing like, well, people actually develop enough consistency. And yeah, there are some days that are lost, but seeing this, I feel like all of these like 1% a day, it's not crazy. It's not it's not like this like pyramid scheme. I really feel that people and traders can make that money on binary pairs and on Forex.
All right, guys, if you want to see Crypto Sage back up his talk, next time we have a call, he can show his screen for his 1% a day profits. in Forex.
I'm so new at it, but I'd be willing to to do some live trades for
yeah,
sure.
guys, if you want to see some boring Forex, non-degenerate gambling, non-crypto stuff, let us know. But if it gets at 1% a day, we might switch over from being a crypto channel to a Forex channel.
Okay, so last thing I want to say on that is that in this group, the group that we have that focuses on, basically we're just focusing on like digital entrepreneurship, like how can we make money online, what are the different ways, and we're trying to do safe, you know, as we got burned on a few of these different like rug pulls, which we can talk about too. It's like, okay, what's a real safe way? And the safe way is that you are actually controlling your wallet. You may have it an account with like a broker or something like this, but the money is always like still belongs to you. We're not sending it out to completely like just a third party, you know, mystery person. So we've done back testing for 24 months now on this one particular combination, and it had a couple of losing months, couple of break-even months, and the rest of it were all profitable months. And this turns out to be about 10 to 20% a month on average return, just automated with a bot at this point. So I really think that there are legitimate ways to make money in this market.
We can't just talk about it. So next week, let's show some screens and maybe get some people away from this crypto quote unquote start of the bear market into something that might be a little bit more consistently profitable in terms of trading. Because right now the volatility, like right now we're speaking in the middle of Jerome Powell speaking, and we just saw a wick that a death wick from hell, and then now it's pumped back up. So if you guys are trading this market, it's pretty difficult. Liquidity and the stability of Forex trading, for probably decades, people have been trying to figure this out. So.
Oh, nice. My Bitcoin one is in profit. Yeah, definitely wicked nicely for me.
So just one last thing on Terra. There's like you had mentioned, I think you were the one that told me that Tron also had their own stablecoin called USDD. So I did a video on that. There was some news basically. So Terra was promoting 20% per year, and this one is promoting 30%. So even less sustainable probably. So and there's over $500 million being locked up in there right now. So I'm curious if somebody's going to take the advantage of that, because they follow the exact same structure as Terra. So it's probably only a matter of time before that one gets pulled or hacked.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only way to really take these out is to create a liquidity crisis, right? Basically, like if somebody goes in there with like a big chunk and then takes on this USDD and then sells it to crash it, and then also sells the collateral. Apparently, this is what happened with the Terra hack. The collateral was Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Somebody who came in had a lot of Bitcoin and bought in a lot of USD or UST and dumped both. And when you do that, the other people, I mean, the fund itself needs to compensate for this. So they now try to dump their Bitcoin, and then it just creates this cascade and they can't catch up.
Yeah. The Terra Luna Foundation, whatever that one was, that was supposed to control the reserves. Yeah. They're being questioned right now whether, like, yeah, basically they weren't able to save the peg. And who knows if they even tried. I'm assuming they did, which would suck. But yeah, they're being investigated for fraud right now. Okay, on to maybe some lighter news. Both of us invested in a company called Metablox. So I did a review of them yesterday, and actually the founder reached out to me, Yukai Chow. You explain what you know about Metablox and why you invested.
Really, the only reason that I invested in Metablox is because of Yukai Chow. And Yukai Chow is a very, very like brilliant person. I believe he has a TED Talk, if I'm not mistaken. So I do encourage you to just go and look up Yukai Chow on YouTube. And his expertise is gamification, but gamification at a level where it's like so deep into psychology and the psychology of motivation that I just have a deep respect for the way that it's been synthesized. And he applies this with companies, he applies this in apps. So I feel just because he was the one behind this project, but I see that this project probably under-marketed. I don't think that like it has nearly the community that I would expect from somebody who's, and this is, I think, what's happening in many of these spaces, NFTs and crypto. What's working is what's being hyped. And what's being hyped is not necessarily got something to do with like real value or like sustainability. It's just about like, oh, well, who's got the bigger kind of like understanding of like how
Who's
to
got the
promote it.
most mutated ape?
Yeah, the most mutated ape, and you know, put the right marketing behind it. So Yukai Chow's project is very interesting. Do you want to like talk a little bit about it? Because I know you made a video on it.
Yeah. So do you know nothing about the project? Like, if you were to sum up what you
I know
know
what
about
it
it.
is.
Okay.
I mean, I would say that essentially the project is this: like you, the NFTs is buying parcels of land essentially in the metaverse. He's particularly focused on San Francisco and Miami at this point.
Next
And
up, I
then
heard is New York and Singapore. In case anybody's from those areas that wants to look at this project.
cool. And so I don't know really much about this feature. There's a rent feature where as soon as I minted these plots of land, I can collect rent from who. I'm not quite sure how that's being generated yet. And the second part, like the main thing of what Metablox is about being able to really, I guess, anchor or store your memories. Right now, I've seen a lot of it just in the form of pictures. In that area, you know, to store your memories on the blockchain so that it's forever, like people can see like, oh yeah, this is what happened in this area. So I think it's pretty cool. It's got some sentimental kind of value. I'd like to see like more eyes on it and see what people actually think.
Yeah, agreed. And there's a reason they didn't push this to more people. At least that they're saying that it's not meant to sell out. Like, they don't want people just to buy land, like get big whales to scoop up all the land. They really want the community to grow in a more organic way. And instead of again creating fake value with hoping that somebody will come along and buy your NFT art piece just because they think it's worth more money, we're creating real life value through this community by storing real memories, which we're creating day to day, right? So that's kind of the basic of it. They have some good YouTube videos. Like there was one I listened to, Will Metablox Survive in a Bear Market? That was a really good one explaining it. And then there was another video explaining their tokenomics. So Yukai Chow, I have no doubt, if you guys don't know, crypto projects, Crypto Sage and I actually started a potential project in the past, and we spent most of our time trying to figure out the tokenomics. And I feel like that's something that people tried to do back in 2017 without success. Most projects didn't really figure out the tokenomics. And now you're starting to hear less people talk about the importance of tokenomics, which I think is a big problem. But they focus really heavily on the tokenomics, and like the rent that you're collecting every day has a real strong purpose. And we won't deep dive it on here, but I think the overall kind of unique value proposition is that you're storing memories on the blockchain, and I haven't seen a project do that. So I think that's just from an investment standpoint, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So maybe let's end with talking about what your overall sentiment is on the market and what you're going to be doing to invest in the next potential 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot. If you have money sitting around that you feel like, okay, cool, it's just money, I would definitely put it in the blue chip kind of, you know, ecosystems. Like, even that right now is kind of hard considering what happened to Terra Luna, because that was definitely a blue chip kind of crypto top 10. But I think like safe plays would definitely be things like Matic. AVAX, Solana. I think that there we can get a pretty safe like 2x at least, maybe even 3x for when some of them when they come back, when the market kind of goes back to bull market. But I'm not doing that personally myself, because right now I'm focused more on creating cash flow. So I am more again like doing live trades just to get the ROI on it. I'm not holding anything.
And who are you following for trading? Maybe you can just mention a couple names.
So for a while, I've been part of Jayson Casper's trading group. I really like Jayson. I appreciate him. He like the way he talks about everything. He's got a lot of humor. The thing is that it's a little bit somehow like I've never really grokked into like, number one is like how to use his bot, and number two is like he doesn't give real signals. He just says like, when the setup is like this, try like this. But it's not like there's not like this. What I like about some of the other groups, it's just like it's in this community, and everybody's like checking, and there's like this conversations like, hey, no, I wouldn't go in. Look, have you considered this or this? You know, and there's a little bit more of like confidence. We're doing it together. In Jayson's, you don't really get that. He just kind of lays out like, here's the trade I would take if this happens and that happens, and it's primarily based on market cipher. So I like the community. I think it's strong, but there's too much going on in it, and my attention is also in other spots for me to be able to. It's complicated. It's more of a complex community, and it's a more complex way of trading. I think it's very good, but yeah, I'm not as deep in it as I would like.
Okay.
So
and the other ones?
The other ones that I've tried is also I've done Cameron Focus.
Cameron
right?
Fous, I think. Yeah. Cameron, poor Cameron. He hasn't posted a video in a while. He lost over $1 million in the Terra thing and hasn't posted since.
Yeah. So I left him after that because just I don't know. And his trades are also like, here's what I got to say. Like in certain communities, there is a sense of like, it's easy to understand. There's like this proof. There's like this sense, and everybody, there's a lot of transparency. With Cameron, it wasn't like this at all. Cameron, it was just like, here's the trade setup, and then here's the next trade setup, and he would just throw these out without any kind of like sense of like, well, what happens really? And he doesn't follow up on many of them. So I didn't do very much with him. The crash trading.
Talk about Gareth. I think we use Gareth as well. Gareth Soloway.
I actually like Gareth. Like back when I tested him out, I didn't really fully grok what he was doing. But now I realize what he's doing is very, very safe. In my sense, it's one of the more safe approaches to making these gains in a very incremental way. I was just really looking for a very quick win. And he wasn't doing that. He wasn't using leverage.
His are more longer term holds, but he is a very good trader. In fact, when I first was like, okay, he's taking these weird buys at when the market was dipping, and I was like, this is not a smart move. But he ended up being right on over like 90% of them, and he took his profits. Yeah. So, but they are longer term holds,
yeah, they're more swing trades, and I think I would come back to Gareth for just
same
for building your portfolio up slowly.
Same.
I would dedicate some portion of my fund to just this more safe play.
And right now, what are we testing? We're testing probably the best one that we've been in, right? So why don't you talk about that?
Crash alerts. So crash trading is he's good because there's personality in what he's sharing.
Yeah.
There is transparency. You can see his loss. He always tallies things up at the end of each week. I really appreciate it. But the thing with him is he is looking for the big plays. Okay. So if you're wanting, like, sometimes I have this itch. I just want to like do some trades. I just want to see like what happens. I'm not trying to get like $20,000 win in one trade. He is.
But he does trade often. He does put out signals often.
He puts out signals often, but those signals don't often get hit. Like he will say like, oh, I'm waiting for this setup. Then sometimes that setup doesn't get hit. He will still go in and he will say, okay, I went in here.
He's very active too, which is very nice, right? He's super active. Like he real time, like as the price is doing movements, he'll comment on that, which is great. Unlike Cameron, which you mentioned, it just sets and forgets it.
Yes. Yeah. So I like that one the best out of those ones. It's also probably the most expensive one in terms of, I think it's like double Gareth's. It's almost $200 a month for the crash alerts. And I've taken a few trades. I've taken a winning trade with him. Yeah, my favorite out of all of this, and it's not something that I've introduced you to yet, but it's something that I'm really exploring. And it's because it's been this more fringe. I've been really, more committed to crypto, but because this one also involves, there's Bitcoin, there's crypto trading, but this one also involves Forex and binary and things like this. But what I really like about this community is called Bullish Currency. It's the community. This one feels the most like community out of any one of them. There is like degen crypto launches, like pre-sales. that are like is one of the offerings. The Forex bots, new auto systems, and everybody's sharing their results. It's really, really, really cool. And there's also straight signals like take profit, stop loss, entry, everything. So I'm really exploring that one a lot, and I'm really liking that community.
Okay, you're gonna have to show it again in the next video. You're gonna show your profit loss statements.
Yeah, I will. Absolutely. I just want to say one more thing. For those people who are like, if you are in this game and you're like tight on money and you're kind of like you want to make money, but you also don't, you're kind of maybe fearing of like losing your money. Because I know that there's people like that are like, they really want to get into it, but it's kind of scary. There is something that I've discovered that is called, they're called prop firms. Have you heard about this?
No.
Okay. Prop firms are firms, they're large firms. There are fake ones out there, but there's also real and long-term established ones. These are firms where you do a test, like you pay them maybe like the one that I'm in now is for a $10,000 account. You pay them $85. You go in there, you're using their money. At first, it's just demo. In this demo, in 1 month, you have to earn what their particular parameter is. It's not much. It's only 8%. So if you win this, they give you $10,000 of their money to trade with, and you will be eligible for 85% of the profits that you generate. If you do a mistake, like you do more than 5% loss a day, you will get wiped. It will take away your account, but then you can always do a retest. You can start a new one. So if you have no money, but you have like $85 and you have like dedication to actually learn it, to pay attention to signals or whatever way you want to approach this, if you win, if you win this challenge, they give you your money back and they give you a $10,000 trading account.
Okay, I was going to put a link in the description below, but before we do that to our audience, let's maybe, is this something that you can show them on maybe the next call?
Absolutely. How about on the next call, we'll kind of go over some of the back testing we've been doing in Forex, the prop firms, and I'll also show you my P&L with this prop firm challenge, the 10K challenge.
Yeah, this prop firm sounds really amazing, like very low risk and basically allowing you to practice trades and then use other people's money to make a profit. That's a smart thing. I'm surprised that you only have to prove yourself for 1 month though. Typically you could have a good month and then fuck up and lose.
Yes,
lose
but if you
money.
fail in future months, they will take away your account.
Oh, okay, and then you can't apply again, or?
If you can actually apply for as many accounts as you want.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, yeah, we'll have to take a look at that. And so I'll just give my take on what I'll be doing for investing. I disagree with what Boris mentioned earlier, but he's not even doing that investment plan, which is a lot of times when people, I used to say, okay, a smart move would be to invest in the big market cap coins, but that's really only in the bullish, in a bullish environment. Because if you've been in crypto for a couple of years, you know that the top 10 coins, even the top 10, let alone the top 100 coins, almost 95% of them are completely gone. So when we talk about like, oh yeah, AVAX is very strong, Solana is very strong, I don't know if they're going to survive the bear market, to be honest. I could be wrong, since now there's a lot of venture money in those coins. But at the same time, we've seen what happened to EOS in the past, all these other ones that have just dropped off the face of the earth. So I would say Bitcoin's probably the safest play. You might want to start DCAing in on that. Maybe Ethereum too, since they have the merge coming up in August. And me personally, and I know a lot of the crypto community, in fact, most of the crypto community notices that games are going to be the next best thing. So as Bitcoin starts to hit its low points below 20,000 all the way to 10,000, I'll be heavily DCAing on the list on my spreadsheet, which I'll be doing a full video on, just covering all the tokens and what price points I'll be looking at buying them at. So that's my plan. And maybe we'll end with this, Boris. Any life advice for people out there that are going through the times that we are right now in the world, where they can maybe learn something? I know you've been there's a reason his name is Crypto Sage, guys. He's one of my favorite spiritual teachers, and I've met a lot of them. And so, yeah, any last small bits of advice for people?
The most important thing is love. Right. And we think about this sometimes and we say, oh, it's kind of sentimental, or it's like this like cool virtue. That's not what I'm talking about. It's like, can you support yourself inside. Let's say you're here in the crypto market, right? Like you may be sitting here all day or computer researching and things like this, but like, are you bringing this element of love, like as care, as like taking breaks, as having your water bottle near you? You know, are you creating a pleasant experience for yourself? And also psychologically, like when you're taking wins or losses and you're having all of this experience, it's like, how are you actually talking to yourself? Like, are you encouraging yourself? Are you saying, you know, like, oh, you took a loss today, okay, you know what, it's okay, it's safe, let's just take a break for the rest of the day, we're gonna come back tomorrow with a fresh? Or are you just like, no, I gotta get back my thing, what am I gonna do? And you're just creating stress, you're sweating, you're like, you know, you're forgetting to eat, you're forgetting to move. If you're doing this, then this is you know, this is not loving, and it's not actually contributing to you growing overall as a person, growing your portfolio. I always believe that the world, including our portfolio in crypto, is a reflection of our state of mind. So if we are like lackey inside and we keep on trying to grasp for things instead of coming from a sense of like, yeah, sweet, I'm here to play, express myself, then I feel like we will see that eventually reflected also on the numbers on our screen, and they'll be going down. So that's my biggest, I feel like, sage advice, is really focus on like true love expressed as the way that you care for yourself, you know, even on that basic level.
Beautiful. And with that, guys, Superhero Crypto Ninja family, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification, and we will see you next week. Take care, guys. God bless.
Peace.